Hello and good evening, our beloved viewers. It's 9 p.m. You are watching our live RTD channel. Welcome to this English news edition. Here are the top stories. Health and Women and Family Breastfeeding Protection at the heart of the 2021 edition. And on the international scenes, Germany's new Chancellor, German, expected in Paris. Those were the top stories. Thanks for joining us in our newsroom. The Minister of Interior, Saeed Nur Hassan, received in his office the new Indian ambassador to Djibouti. At the beginning of the meeting, Mr. Saeed Nur Hassan welcomed the new diplomat in Djibouti, wishing him a pleasant stay in the country. The talks between the two sides during the meeting were focused on the relation of the friendship and joint cooperation between the two countries in various files and ways to strengthen them towards border horizons. For his part, the Indian ambassador expressed his thanks to the Minister of Interior for the warm reception and the hospitality, and affirmed the commitment of his country's authorities to keep pace with the effort made by the Djiboutian government to move forward in the path of sustainable development and to consolidate the distinguished cooperation between the two countries. The Ministry of Health and the Ministry of Women and Family launched the activities of the National Breastfeeding Weeks from the 8th to the 14th of December. In this regard, the official opening ceremony of the activities of the National Breastfeeding Weeks was held yesterday, Thursday, at the People's Palace under the auspice of the Minister of Health, Dr. Ahmed Roble Abdile, participating in the commemoration of the National Breastfeeding Week, where the Minister of Women and Family, Ms. Muna Usman Aden, the Vice President of the National Union of Djiboutian Women, Ms. Hasna Ahmed Bilil, UNICEF representative, Ms. Melva Johnson, the representative of the World Health Organization, Dr. Rene, and the first advisor in charge of the European Union's affairs. The organization of this Breastfeeding Protection Week emphasized the importance of the working together to create an enabling environment for the breastfeeding, where the breastfeeding provides every child with a life free of all disease, according to studies. During the weeks, a series of activities will be implemented by an expert from the Ministry of Health at the community level as a session to educate the community living in the capital and in the interior region. In a speech by the Minister of Women and Family, Ms. Muna Usman Aden, on the occasion of reviving breastfeeding among mothers, she said that the aim of this occasion is to raise awareness of the importance of breastfeeding and to educate the role it plays in protecting the health of both mother and child. Ms. Muna Usman Aden also pointed out that the ministry, in cooperation with the United Nations Children's Fund, mobilized all the necessary human and material resources capable of implementing and succeeding the various activities planned around breastfeeding. The Minister of Women and Families pointed out also the importance of the issues of breastfeeding in the upgrading the family's situation, which is at the heart of the requirement of the social development, which in turns is at the force of the development and policy of the President of the Republic, His Excellency Ismail Omar Guelleh. She also praised and our country, she said, adoption of a national breastfeeding week and the rules played by these national weeks activities in raising awareness of the importance of breastfeeding. The Health Minister, Dr. Ahmed Roble Abdille, delivered an important speech on this occasion at the outset, which addressed the benefit of breastfeeding for the child and mother. He stressed that the extension of maternity leave is a clear indication of the importance that the President of the Republic attached to the issues of breastfeeding. He urged civil societies and the society to educate mother about the multiple benefits of the breastfeeding, which gives children a shield of defense and protection against all forms of infection, and said that the practice of breastfeeding contribute to the health and well-being of the mothers and helps in growth. It reduces the risk of ovarian or breast cancer in our country and constitute tremendous opportunities to combat the malnutrition. It was yesterday, Thursday, the Ministry of Women and Family organized the work of the second meeting of the Steering Committee Conference concerned with advancing the project of empowering women and girls at the headquarters of the Institute of Diplomatic Studies. This meeting, which aims to improve the living condition of women and girls, witnessed the participation of the Ministry of Women and Families Affairs, Ms. Muna Usman Aden, the European Union Affairs official, Mr. Francois, and representative from various United Nations organizations operating in the country, such as the United Nations Development Program known as UNICEF and the United Nations Population Fund, in addition to the International Finance Institution, the United Nations Development Fund, and members of the Steering Committee. This occasion was opened by a speech by the European Union Affairs in charge of the European Union Affairs, who briefly reviewed the various stages through which the project is achievement passed and made some recommendation. After that, he discussed the effort of the ministry in this file since the emergence of the coronavirus pandemic in the country. For their part, the participants provide information of the achievement of the program dedicated to improving the status of women and girls. During the meeting, fruitful discussions were held on the Women's Empowerment Project, and the session ended with a commitment of a more effective commitment from the various partners present. In her speech, the Minister of Women and Family, Ms. Muna Usman Aden, referred to the goals, task, and power of the Steering Committee, adding at the same time to the beneficial results of the project, noting that such project aim primarily to provide funding for women's empowerment project by the Microfinance Fund. Ms. Muna Usman Aden also presented the result of a project related to empowering simple women from rural areas and protecting and promoting the rights of women and girls, and present figures on the achievement in this file. She concluded. In His Excellency, the Minister of National Education and Vocational Training, Mr. Mustafa Mohammed Mohamud, participate in the Qatari capital in Doha on the occasion of the closing of the activities of the World Innovation Summit for Education, which lasted for 3 days under the title Raise Your Voice to build a future based on education with the participation of a group of the most prominent thinkers and innovators in Qatar, and the world minister was accompanied to participate in this summit by the Inspector General, Miss Muna Ismail Abdu, the Dean of the Inspector, Abdul Qadir Tahir Aden, and the Head of the Communication Department, Hussein Abdullah. The Djiboutian ambassador to Qatar and high levels from the ministerial department also participate alongside the minister in the activities of this global summit, which is considered one of the most important summits in the file of shaping the future of education. On the sidelines of the World Innovation Summit for Education, the minister attended the closing event of the roundtable activities on the subject of education for all. Discussing focus on the main elements of the strategies adopted in the file of our schools, the out of schools education on common barriers, exchange of experience and opportunities for collaboration. The Minister of National Education and Vocational Training present the strategies that have been adapted for in order to teach each class of a student out of schools and implemented by the ministry. The Ministry of National Education also said and reviewed our country's effort to provide quality, especially since the quality education for children, especially since there is no small percentage of young people who did not enroll in basic education, as well as the role of government of Djibouti in working to ensure the right of every child to basic education and ensuring that it is achieved. This is despite the economic challenge. He explained that our country is facing a challenge in the file of education, thanking the Education Above All Foundation for its partnership to achieve the goals of their countries in providing quality education. Within the framework of the bilateral meeting held at by the Minister of National Education and Vocational Training, Mr. Mustafa Mohammed Mohamud, he accompanied a delegation with the high-level Qatari figure. The Minister of National Education met with his Qatari counterpart, the Minister of National Education and Higher Education in Qatar. This high-level meeting were focused on the existing cooperation between the two departments on the ongoing project related to exchanging experience in the file of education and promoting them to border horizons. The discussion also extended to sending Djiboutian teachers to Qatar to work on vacant jobs. The Minister of National Education, Mr. Mustafa Mohammed Mohamud, also touched on the promotion of turning in the file of education with the Qatari schools or university with the aim of pursuing studies for the benefit of students of the schools. The excellence who obtained a baccalaureate degree this year at the age of 14. During this meeting, the two sides pledged to continue cooperation between the ministries of education and the two brotherly countries. On the sidelines of the Work Innovation Summit for Education held in Doha, the Minister of National Education and Training, accompanied by the Ambassador of Djibouti in Qatar, Mr. Tayyip, and his accompanying delegation participate in a number of technical meetings with the official of the Education for All Foundation and with the other partners. Both the minister and the chairman of the foundation's board of directors praise the distinguished partnership that works for the noble social education and the fruitful relation that exists between the two institutions. This visit allowed the minister to amend the innovation project that was implemented last summer, called the Digital Schools Program for the digital program in education. On the other hand, the Minister of National Education held a meeting with the Director General of UNICEF, Mr. Robert Jenkins, to discuss ways of cooperation between the two sides. At the conclusion of this meeting, the Minister and the Director of Education for All signed a cooperation agreement at the Qatar National Convention Center, which hosted the work and meeting of the World Innovation Summit for Education. In cooperation with the European Union and the High Commissioner for Refugees, the Intergovernmental Authorities on Development, known as IGAD, concluded yesterday, Thursday, the work of the Third Regional Conference on Refugees Education at the level of Minister of National Education and Vocational Training in IGAD member states at the Campeski Hotel. The closing proceeding of this conference took place in the presence of the Executive Secretary of the Intergovernmental Authorities on Development, Mr. Geberyehu, the representative of the High Commissioner for Refugees, and the Secretary General of the Ministry of National Education and Vocational Training. But also, in addition to technical from the member of state of the authority, this conference comes within the framework of the Commission's effort to launch a comprehensive framework for refugees response in IGAD countries in the basic sector of education, health, water, and livelihood. This conference also translates the humanitarian stance of the Republic of Djibouti towards refugees, as over the past decades, Djibouti has provided a safe haven for refugees fleeing the violence and famine. In a speech by the Director of Health and Social Development of the Governmental Authorities for Development, Ms. Fathiya Abdul Qadir Alwan, she expressed her pleasure and happiness to participate in her speech in this occasion and praise the progress made in this also the implementation of the Djibouti Declaration on the
We have now come to an end of our 4 days expert meeting, which has been very active and productive. And I think you have done all your best actually to come up.
Plans and the multiple year response in the file of national education and the discussion ways and means to develop IGAD scholarship program to obtain inclusive education for talented refugee students. She also highlighted the regional rehabilitation program for IGAD teachers. She concluded.
Half of my colleagues of IGA Secretariat, but also I would like sincerely to thank Dr. Kabede with also our senior advisor and coordination for the education programs, and who has been also steering this high-level consultation meeting of experts from the member state. I think all of you, thank you so much. Which is really, I think we have also again started our journey. We have a long journey to go, and we are looking forward how we'll be all implementing this declaration, which is really touching one of our segment of populations, the most vulnerable, of course, refugees, returnees, host community, also including the IDPs.
In his speech on this occasion, the Secretary General of the Ministry of National Education and Vocational Training made it clear that the Republic of Djibouti, since its independence in the year 1977 until the present day, is committed to providing shelters and security for the thousands of refugees who came to it from neighboring countries, stressing at the same time that the people of Djibouti are characterized by the values of tolerance and kindness toward refugees. He stressed that the government led by the President of the Republic, His Excellency Ismail Margili, has adopted a new law for refugees that allows them to access education, legal aid, and the justice system, and to give all refugees children the opportunities to obtain education by training a sufficient and significant number of refugees teachers to teach refugees and to enable all refugees the access of education, the national education system. And now moving on to the international scenes. Germany's new chancellor plans on Friday went to Paris and Brussels on his first foreign trip 2 days after he was sworn in the French capital. The Chancellor of a Social Democratic Party is scheduled to meet President Emmanuel Macron, while he will hold talks in Brussels with the European Commission President Ursula von der Leyen and the NATO Secretary General Mr. Jens. On Thursday, German Foreign Minister Ms. Annalena held talks in Paris and Brussels and said that a strong European needs a strong Franco-German memorandum. Germany is most important European neighbor, so it has been identified as the first travel destination for the new German Chancellor and his foreign minister, 16-year-old Chancellor Angela Merkel. And then Foreign Minister Frank Walker said they traveled together on their first foreign trip to Paris and then to Brussels. And on Thursday, Germany's Bild newspaper reported that Merkel will be a special advisor to the new chancellor for a while. In a newspaper also interviewed, the new chancellor said, I exchanged views with the Merkel on international politics. Of course, I will also speak with Angela Merkel about such a question regarding international politics, he added. This is it for this edition. Thanks for watching and have a wonderful evening.